Hello, hello, hello. This site is called Take What Rings True. And the whole idea is I'm going to say some spiritual stuff and you decide if it makes sense to you. If it doesn't, let it go. My name is Teresa Micheletti. And today I want to talk about time and space. And as you probably know, I used to go to trance classes with a psychic who would go into a trance, go sit on the bench on the other side, not remember anything, and her spirit guides, one of them at a time, would come in and teach us stuff about Earth, about life, about the other side. So, I want to talk today about what they explained about space and time. So, you may have heard of the saying of hundreds of angels can be on the head of a pin. Well, the other side has a different dimension and different physical dimension than our side. So, a spirit guide named Francine, was Sylvia's spirit guide, was talking about being in a giant auditorium that seats millions, and they didn't feel crowded at all. But if we were in that same space, we would need a lot more space because we take up so much more room. So on the other side, you can sort of merge a little bit and be next to someone, but not feel like you're crowded in. So, space. Have you ever, do you remember when you were little, or maybe when you're older, and you dreamt about flying? Well, if you dreamt about flying, you were really astrally projecting. You were out of your physical body and into your etheric body, and you were flying around, visiting places, going to places, watching things, going to the other side. You're still connected to your physical body by a little strand, so you can come back and your personal angel takes care of you while your physical body while you're out and about in spirit. But that space that we think we're entrenched in is not real. A different spirit guide named Rahim described Earth and our life on Earth as a phantasm. We are a phantasm and we are living in a non reality. Now, that's kind of hard to believe. It's kind of hard for me to believe. I can say one thing and then feel the other, but I can understand that. I just can't fully 100% get into that because I can feel my body. So it's kind of hard to realize it. But I do remember flying a lot when I was little. So, space and time. Space. So, the space that we're in is created for our Earth lifetime. And we think of it as solid, but it's not solid. We're told that our creator holds everything together. If you studied chemistry and you know about electrons and how they bounce in every direction, there's that experiment where there's a whole bunch of ping pong balls, and then they set off either a mousetrap or something to make the ping pong balls go. Well, that's what electrons do. They go all over the place. So if you think of a whole room of ping pong balls and you some way start one of them bouncing, then all the other ones start bouncing in all directions. That's what happens with electrons. Well, actually, your table, your computer, your phone, your pillow, your chair, your door is all held together by our creator. So the electrons are held in a space by our creator. Now, that's kind of hard to wrap your head around, but that's what spirit guides told us, that our creator holds things together, holds our reality together. So he must be some powerful guy to be able to do that, to think about my door and every other door in this house and every other door in the world, every other chair, every other pillow, every other whatever, holding all solid things in place. So space. Really, there is no concrete thing We are all energy. All of this stuff around us is all energy. We are all connected. Universally, we're connected to the collective or whatever you want to call it. Now, as I said before, take what rings true to you and let the rest go. If something doesn't make sense to you, let it go. Okay, Raheem. Well, first let's talk about Francine, spirit guide, said that time on the other side, which is the reality, we're the phantasm, we're the temporary play that's happening. But the other side is the reality where we've lived for millions and millions of years. The other side has time like a merry-go-round. So if you miss a party, you miss a lecture, you miss a musical concert, it's like you can get on that merry-go-round and see it again because it will come around again. Now, that's kind of hard to hold on to, but that's the way it's supposed to be. So if all time is God's now or our creator's now, then that makes sense that all things are happening right now and you can catch them again. So Raheem, the other spirit guide, said that time on earth is a confusing phenomenon. And we encounter it all the time, and we entrench ourselves in this lateral movement of time. And we also get stuck in it. We are programmed to believe it. We are programmed to drag it around. He suggested living in the present, in the now. If you hold on to the past, you drag a lot of things with you that you don't need. Now, you can keep the memories, but you don't need to keep replaying the yucky things that happened to you, that yucky experience, that person who betrayed you, that mean person. Those you don't need to hold on to. Been there, done that, let it go. You also, all of us, tend to reference things in time. Okay, this happened before I graduated. This happened after I graduated. This happened before I broke my leg. This happened after I broke my leg. And you want to put everything in sequence on this lateral timeline. Stop doing that. You don't need to do that. If you keep holding on to the past and the future, you're not living in the present. And you'll be much happier if you live in the present. You notice the cute dog over there. You notice the beautiful sunset. You notice the beautiful sunrise instead of thinking about, oh, that guy was so mean to me. And you're spinning in the past, or you're thinking about the future. I really, really want that new car, and that's all I can think about. And then you don't realize on what's my thing, Neighborhood Watch. I don't remember what it's called. Anyway, there's something. Somebody was giving away a car the other day. So if I had been present and paying attention to the present and I wanted a new car, I could have gotten that car. They couldn't drive anymore. They were giving away their car. You never know. If you put out your wishes and your desires to the universe, you never know what will come back to you. So live in the present. And if you notice negative events, stop replaying them before your broken leg, after your broken leg. Stop making that be your time reference. So think of modifying your speech and using positive things and letting go of your childhood traumas. Let go of your rejection. You don't need to keep holding on to those. Let them go. They're not going to influence your present unless you spin around in them. So get on with your life. If you have trouble letting go of something, you can't forgive something, give it to the Creator. Give it to God. Give it to the universe. Let them deal with it and get on with your life. So we get time framed by media, by our family, by tradition. It's now coming to summer. Summer means blah, blah, blah. You have daytime, you have nighttime, you have researchers and scientists telling you, you need 7 hours of sleep. or you need 8 hours of sleep, or you're not going to survive very well with 5 hours of sleep. Well, what about the people who had brain injuries and haven't slept for 35 years? They're still alive, they're still functioning. So we really don't need as much sleep as we think. Spirit guide suggested 4 to 6 hours. Now, of course, you get more rest if you can sleep rather than the people who can't sleep for 35 years. But try sleeping at different intervals. Try to break up the pattern, because when we get patterned, it's like, okay, it's 9 o'clock. I need to be going to bed. It's 6 o'clock. I better be eating. It's, I don't know what time. It's, what other time do you have? It's noon. Got to eat lunch. This is lunchtime. And you force yourself, not force yourself, you create this situation, you program yourself to be hungry at that time. What if you miss a meal? Rahim suggested sleeping. My dad used to do this. He'd have an orange for lunch and he'd take a nap in his truck at lunchtime at work. And you can have an alarm. You have a phone, probably. You can have a little alarm. You can wake yourself up. But I found I could wake myself up for years and years. I woke myself up just by thinking I need to be up at 5:30 so I can drive an hour and a half to get back to be in work in the morning, because I'd stay with friends in the Bay Area and then get up at early in the morning and drive home. You don't need to be so time bound. We get so programmed that we have to be in this time frame. Okay, it's Christmas time, it's Thanksgiving time, it's your birthday time. Okay, and that means you have to do da 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 da. And you have this little list and you get frustrated because, oh no, I have to do these things. No, you can reframe that. You can eat at a different time. Try not to be time bound. Rahim said, if you get bored, one reason you get bored is because you've created this linear time frame where everything has to be done at a certain time. When you were younger, I bet you didn't eat all at the same time. If you're a little kid, you don't know what time it's supposed to be dinner time. You don't know what time it's supposed to be snack time. You just keep playing, playing, playing. And a lot of times you don't want to come in at all when they want you to come in because you're playing. You don't want to stop doing that. So you're less time bound. Well, what about doing it for yourself? Maybe you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Well, then read a book for a little while. Go write in your journal. Who says you have to go to sleep immediately afterwards? It's not written in stone anywhere. You do not need as much sleep as you think you do. Call your friend and go out to Denny's or a 24-hour restaurant. If you have crazy friends like me, then you could probably find somebody who will do that with you. Or tell them, look, I'm trying to break my pattern of doing the same thing at the same time every day. I started talking about vacations. A lot of times on vacations, people will break the routine. And then Raheem said, when you get older, we notice this thing of, okay, you do the exact same thing, get up at the same time, eat at the same time, but you do it in a different location. That's supposed to be a vacation? No, you're time bound. Stop being so time bound. I like to do things differently on vacation. Maybe we only, especially if we go to Hawaii, we only eat a couple of meals a day. We don't eat 3 meals a day. And we're spending time doing different things. We're sitting at the beach one day reading, the next day we might be kayaking, and we're not paying attention to the time to eat. It's like, okay, well, there's a restaurant on the side of this river. We can, put the kayak there and go eat there. Or, oh, look, there's a trail. We can probably hike over to the waterfall that's supposed to be there. And we don't have to do dinner, lunch at a certain time. So think about that. Maybe you sleep a little longer on vacation the first day, especially if you're in a different time zone. Now, I know one of my friends always tries to keep the same time zone when she travels. So if she's in Central Time Zone, then when she gets to the West Coast, she'll try to get up at the same time she got up in Central Time Zone, and then try to go to bed earlier if she's on the West Coast, so that she's in the same time frame, which works for her. On the other hand, when I travel, I try to just go with the flow and be in that time zone. Now, one time we landed in Madrid and we slept like all through the night and all through the day. Or I don't remember what time we got there, kind of early in the afternoon, took a nap, but the nap ended up being we woke up after all the restaurants were closed and on a holiday. So that was not the best planning, but it was interesting walking through Madrid, even though you couldn't go anywhere because everything was closed. That's okay. It broke the routine. It was fun. I could still remember the streets we walked on and looking at the Valencia oranges planted in the middle of the street. It was nice. It was a change. It wasn't my usual routine. Now, vacation. Maybe you need to think of having a stay vacation and changing your patterns. What could you do differently? Because when you change your patterns, then you're not bored with the same thing, same thing, same thing. And Raheem says you'll be happier. I think I'm pretty happy when I change my routine, when I can be flexible and go, okay, I can eat lunch at 11 and then not eat dinner until 8 o'clock. That's okay. I'm not going to die from starvation for sure, but try a different frame of mind. You get tired. You don't realize how tired you are of being in the program. I need to get up at this exact time. I need to sleep at this exact time. I need to eat at this exact time. And then there's no variance in what you're doing. So Raheem, spirit guide, suggested go to bed an hour earlier or sleep an hour later. Change your routine. Try to change the programming. Stop listening to people saying, it's flu season, so you need to get the flu. It's allergy season, so you need to be having allergies. Turn those on now. We get programmed by the people around us, media, doctors. I told you about I crushed my wrist, and the doctor, I'm still in the hospital. They haven't done anything, haven't said it or anything. The doctor said, you're going to have arthritis. And I said, no, I'm not. It's like, why are you programming people to have arthritis? I don't have arthritis. I still don't have arthritis. But we get in these programs and we believe people when they tell us stuff. We need to stop and think, is that my truth? No. And if it's time and space, decide, okay, am I being programmed to do something? Am I being programmed to have the flu because the 24-hour flu is going around, the 3-day flu is going around? Okay, I have the flu, it has to be 3 days. No, change time. Ask to go beyond that time. Say, okay, I'm going to have the flu for 1 more hour, for 2 more hours, and then it's going to be over with. We are our own universe. We are our own controllers of our space and time. But it's hard for us to realize that because we're on Earth and everything's programmed. So, have you ever noticed when you first fall in love, you don't need to sleep that much? You're euphoric. And then when you're breaking up, you want to sleep because you want to get away from that. Oh, that sadness. Okay, change that. Get beyond. I want to move to a time of joy. Okay, say I broke up with my mate. I want to move to a time of joy. Move yourself forward to a time of joy. And I can help you with that. I might have a class already online for that. I don't remember. Anyway, um, you can do that. Move yourself forward in time. Move yourself to a joyful time. Stop spending all this time spinning in the yucky times and move yourself forward to a happier time beyond this point where you're not feeling wonderful. So you have a terrible event. Stop reliving it. Change your pattern. Go do something else. Go take a walk. Go to your favorite beach. Go to your favorite shore. Watch a sunset. You'll notice little kids don't spin around on the yucky things. They don't even remember. Like an hour later, they don't remember falling down. They may like their Band-Aid, but they don't remember the experience. They're on to the next thing. And we get caught in time. So try to re-educate your mind. Just experiment. Babies don't know the difference between night and day, when they're supposed to eat. So reframe. If you get ill, act like you're not. You know who heals you? The doctor can facilitate and give you some medication, but what heals you is your own self and your God center. Your God center, your little spark of God. You decide. You move that forward. You make yourself well. That's not to say that anybody and everyone's going to get well. If you charted to have ALS, then you're going to have ALS. You can make the symptoms softened anytime. You can always pray for a miracle. And if you wrote in your chart, do not change this, this is set in stone, then it won't be changed, but it can be softened. So time and space. Decide not to be programmed. When your eye doctor says, oh, you're over 40, your eyes are going to get bad. No, they don't have to. Oh, this is perimenopause, you're going to have these symptoms. No, don't let people program you. Don't let that time, that event, that season dictate what you're going to feel. Break the pattern. Break the pattern. You don't have to be programmed. Okay. And especially when I was just yesterday, it's allergy season on TV. It's allergy season, come buy all these medications. Project yourself out of that time. Think of yourself, okay, allergies. I have allergies. Okay, fine. Don't make them be yours. I have allergies. Don't say that. You're claiming it. Okay. I feel as if I might have an allergy. Okay. That allergy can move on. I'm going to move myself beyond those feelings, move myself beyond that time to when I feel wonderful, to when I feel clear, to when I feel no congestion and feel happier and joyful. So that's what I'm sure Rahim meant when he said, move yourself forward in time, because the other side and our loved ones and our creator all want us to feel good, to feel joyful, to feel happy. So we need to claim that. We need to do our part and get beyond, overcome the adversity, overcome the programming, and get out of our locked in time capsule and move ourselves to a time of joy, a time of happiness. So today, I would like you to think about what's one pattern you might want to break. Maybe sleeping a different amount of time. Maybe not making lunch be the lockstep that it usually is. Maybe take a walk at lunch. Maybe take a nap at lunch. And realize time is not what we think it is. It's not linear. It's really a merry-go-round. It goes around. I remember once Raheem said, time is reversible. So, some people look a lot younger than other people their age, and other people seem really, really old, and they could only be 25. I remember I worked with someone who was planning. She was turning 50. They were going to go on a vacation because, once you're past 50, then you get really old and it's going to be hard to travel. Well, if you program yourself for that, then that can come true. You are a creator. So decide for yourself. Do I need to accept that programming? Do I need to accept what media is telling me or my relatives told me? No. Move yourself to a time of happiness. Speed yourself ahead to the time of joy. You are in charge of your time and your universe. This is really hard to believe. This is really a play that we're in. We charted the main events in our play, and we're in charge of how we feel, how we overcome things, and speeding up time, getting beyond the yucky stuff, getting beyond the time lockstep is our choice. So instead of saying things like, oh, this class is taking so long, and then you notice that person over there, and after class, they say, oh, that was such a short class. Frame of mind. So, one way to get past the dilemma of time is to change your frame of mind, break the patterns, assume you are in charge of the time, move yourself forward so that you feel you are past it to a time of happiness, a time of joy. So please today take notice of your programming, who's programmed you. Take notice of your lockstep patterning that you do every day and try to change it up. You'll be happier, you'll be happier, you'll be more joyful. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you next week on Wednesday at around 10:30 on YouTube and around 11 o'clock on Facebook. Thank you. Bye.